Jive, motherfucker, jive. Jive. Motherfucker, jive. Jive Talkin with Shane. Oh, yeah, that's passable. That is passable. Welcome, one and all, back again to another episode of this old horse and dog and pony show that we've got going on around here. It's called Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. I thank you so deeply for tuning in each and every week. Regardless if you're, have a headache or not, you tune in, and for that I appreciate you. You can watch this on YouTube and listen to it on YouTube, or you can watch it and listen to it on Spotify. If you'd like to see your comments that we read at the end, basically takes up half the damn show. Not gonna lie, but a solid 15, 20 minutes of this sucker is the comments, because they're so intriguing and interesting to me. If you want to be part of that, it's very simple. All you've got to do is put your comments in the episode that we release, and then the following episode I will read those comments, and which I did not do. I did not prepare this. Am I going to do an edit here? I don't know if I'm going to. Let's get that. Let's see, Shane Diablo, and what would that be? 068. Pretty sure, was that the one? Rick Allen. Now see, I'm going to do this here. We got some comments, you guys. We got some comments. 11 comments to be exact. And I gave a heart out to Ryan Weatherman Holt. Let's get back to this freaking podcast thing that we're doing here. I just didn't prepare that. But I believe this is episode 69. We're going to get right into it. And my friends, if you're listening to this right now, this Sunday we're doing Wicked Place by Overkill on the channel. Right, listening to that for the first time. But this first story here, Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, the man, the myth, the legend, the lead singer for Overkill, reached 20 album milestone with Scorched. And I'm not sure if that's out yet. Maybe this will tell us, but I'm pretty sure it's on its way out. They've released The Surgeon and Wicked Place as the singles. There's still some fucking gas in the tank. That's what old Bobby Blitz says. So let's get into this. Overkill frontman Bobby Blitz Ellsworth likes to refer to the band's post-Atlantic Records period, 1996 through the 2000s, as their bowling alley years. Whereas many of the band's thrash peers either broke up, changed direction, or went into creative hibernation, Overkill soldiered on and kept releasing albums to do so. The New Jersey Quintet had to take on one on the chin and play smaller venues like bowling alleys. Ellsworth jokes that it enabled his band members to increase their scoring averages, but something more significant was at stake. Overkill set themselves up for a long career that could withstand the natural ebbs and flows of the music industry simply by remaining productive. I was going to say reimagining, but remaining productive. And I told you this. They're great. As if additional proof of that is required, Overkill has returned with its 20th studio album, Scorched. Delayed and altered because of the pandemic, Scorched heads down the same path as every Overkill effort since 2010's Ironbound. Behind Ellsworth's nitrous vocals and throttling thrash, Scorched shows that while Overkill may never need to tinker with its formula, a few unexpected years of pandemic-related self-examination went a long way toward meeting up with the band's high standards, something Ellsworth shared with the Blumenheim. Among the topics included were the venerable band may finally call it a day. When will they call it a day? Let's find out. Okay, this is Blabbermouth here, and they're going to ask the question. A lot of people had all sorts of epiphanies of lifestyle changes during the pandemic. Did anything similar happen to you? Bobby.
It was a really strange time. It seemed like I was surrounded by motivated by and what was happening in my head, which became insanity. The good side was that I got the demo.
Okay, I'm going to read slower because Ryan told me to do that last time.
I got the demo for this record on the day everything shut down.
Somewhere in that, I had normalcy in what was very abnormal. I could always go to that demo. It didn't seem like I was out of work or unproductive. It didn't seem like it was the end of the world. There was no, I'm going to change my life. Luckily, because of that, I had somewhere to go that was normal and continued my life. Obviously, my writing, or part in that writing, the result is Scorched. Still getting over a cold. 1 week later. That's how you get up. You're getting up there in the years when you don't bounce right back. Blabbenheinz, they got another one here for him. They're very good with their questions. They keep them rolling in. Overkill has developed a rigid album and tour release schedule, which meant you were always busy. Did that feel odd not having those dates to hit on the calendar?
Sure. The band itself does other things, so there's that work ethic with us. We almost ran on a clock. Every 18 months or 2 years, you'd get an Overkill record, followed by a tour. 2 U.S. runs, 2 European runs, and South America run, maybe go to Asia, then Europe, summer festivals. It's how it was probably since the festival started for us in the 1990s. For 3 decades, that has been the way for us. You had to keep active in a different way. I wasn't singing at full bore for 2.5 years. We were on the road when the pandemic happened. We were in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Fillmore. You got the alert on the phone that Live Nation is thinking about canceling it. Nobody thinks about canceling the entire world of shows. Laughs. He's got a laugh like that. That was to soften the real blow. But before March 12th, 2020, until 2021, I guess November, I had sung full bore. It for sure took a toll on my voice and body. Oh, one more from Blabbermouths, and then we'll move on. Did your voice benefit at all from the unexpected rest? It wasn't rest. I sing daily, in the shower, naked in the bed, everywhere. That's one of the things I do, but not full bore daily. I'm singing Ozzy Osbourne Over the Mountain. I even throw in some Amy Winehouse.
What did she sing? She sang that one. You're trying to get me back to rehab, and I said no, no, no.
Yeah, it's a comeback.
That's a no, no. So he sings that. Bobby Blitz is in his living room going,
they're trying to take me back to rehab.
I listen to the Deep South. I like the view of what singing is, and that's because of how I was brought up. My mom cut a couple of records. She sang with Mitch Miller. Who's that? Did shows out of New York, New Jersey with him, and had stints at the Copa. Is that the Copacabana? There was singing in my house all the time. I always remember my mother's singing voice before her speaking voice. That's because she'd sing to you in the womb. She'd sing those songs. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Right? And so you knew the singing voice before you knew her real voice. It was going, pick that shit up, you little son of a bitch. That's what they do to you. When you're in the womb, they sing to you and all that. When they get out, they just yell at you, right? When did you become a singer? I say it has nothing to do with talent. It's all in how you present. I'm not afraid of it. It was always happening in my house with my mother and sister. Harmonizing in the kitchen was natural. So there you have that. Scorched. Is it going to say anything about the release date of Scorched? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love all these questions and such, but okay. Yeah. We're off to that. Hey, Slaughter! If you've been up all night and sleeping all day wondering if there was ever going to be a documentary on Slaughter, Boy, have I got good news for you. Slaughter documentary in the works. Finally. How long have they been a band? 30 years. They finally get a documentary. It's called The Wildlife. Definitive edition due this summer. There he is. Here's old Mark Slaughter. Let's see what it says. In a new interview with Meltdown of Detroit's WRIF radio station, Slaughter's frontman Mark Slaughter was asked if he and his bandmates have any ideas demoed for a possible new studio album. Mark's response was transcribed.
No! But Dana Strum, bass, and I, when we wrote 1990 debut album Stick It To You, we wrote it in about 2.5 weeks. So it doesn't take us long to write the songs. It's more about getting us all in the same room. But we don't have a set date. We're just kind of doing all these shows, and we're kind of earmarking the calendar where we have holes in the schedule where we can do that. So they are going to work on something. Regarding the status of the original Slaughter drummer Blas Elias, Mark said, "He will play with us. He will play with us when he can do that. And he has family commitments, and he has other things like playing with old Vince Neil when Zoltan can't fill in." Blas is always and will be a big part of the band. He was the original drummer. Jordan Kanata, fill-in drummer, is a fantastic drummer, so I don't know. When we get to the time of recording, it's kind of like who's available and what works. But I know that we're working on a biopic right now, and obviously Blas will be part of that. I think that probably once we get something like that out is when we'll release something. That's a good idea, Mark. You've got good ideas. You release the album around the same time that you release the biopic. Blas comes back and we really go for it and as close to original as we can. As close to original as we can. Asked to elaborate on the Slaughter biopic, someone's ears got twerking. Ooh, really? A biopic? Is this going to be for Netflix? Which will presumably take the form of a documentary rather than a movie that dramatizes the band's history. No one wanted to see that. Mark said, "Yeah, that all started during the COVID time. We started going through our drawers." Ooh! You better put on fresh underpants. If you're going to go through your drawers like that, you better put on freshies. You throw all your junk in a drawer and then you come back and you go, "Man, what's this?" And then you start sending it back to each other. "Hey, dude, you remember this?" So we ended up with finding a 24-track tape which we had basically cooked. And then we took all the files off of it. Cooked it as in bad way, right? It fried? I think he meant fried. It was a show we did at Universal in a Dick Clark production. And we did a whole show in between doing the tapings. So we have a full live show with late Slaughter guitarist Tim Kelly on it that I'm mixing or trying to pull together for release, probably through BMG. So we're pulling all that together right now. And there are a few of those songs that we threw in this Wildlife compilation and the box set that'll be in there when it comes out this summer. I'm sorry, guys, I got a little bit scatterbrained because I've never done this before. I was going to talk about Mike Tramp, Vito Bratta, but I remembered I wanted to talk about Vinnie Vincent. He's releasing another album. And I want to do that story too. So we're going to get through this. This is a real shit show going on here right now, isn't it? So there you have that Slaughter documentary on the way. I wanted to get into this. I've called the guy Dez Fafara forever. It's not. It's Dez Fafara. And he's dealing with a lot of COVID stuff here today, folks. Devil Drivers Dez Fafara says COVID-19 related heart damage is preventing him from flying overseas. So they want to get out there and do the tour because he's doing the
Coal Chamber, right? And he's doing the Devil Driver shows again. They can't go to Europe because he's got this. Let's find out. Dez Fafara says that the Devil Driver will not be able to play this year's edition of the UK's Bloodstock Open Air Festival due to health issues related to his battle with COVID-19. Fafara explained Devil Driver's decision to pull out of an event after it was announced that his other band, Coal Chamber, was going on tour with Mudvayne this summer. Earlier today, Dez released the following statement via Bloodstock Open Air social media. Hello, Bloodstalkers! This is Dez from Devil Driver. In 2021, I came down with COVID, which left me with heart problems. I had to live downstairs in my house as I could barely walk more than a few feet without collapsing. Yeah, it got bad for some folks. I, in fact, was saying goodbye to my family at the time and didn't think I would pull through. See, some people says, "Oh, it did nothing happened to me." It's some kind of genetics. I took 2022 off and very slowly started to walk 1 block, then 2 blocks, and now 500 miles I run, like Forrest Gump did, and had to fight my way back very hard. It took me 14 months to get to a point where I could perform again on stage. Damn. So now he's going to get into some meat and potatoes here. My cardiologist, who saved my life, has asked me not take any long flights this year at all as we monitor the situation. It has been a very long road for myself and my family, but am returning to form even on tour in the US. Now with Devil Driver, I must do the show, then go straight to my bunk to rest, as I still have inflammation in my lower heart, and it's what's preventing me from taking flights overseas. Don't do it. So it is with the heaviest of hearts that Devil Driver must pull down our long-awaited Bloodstock performance. I am sorry if this causes any inconvenience, and I hope within the next 12 to 24 months to get this all clear for my doctor to fly and tour overseas. Listen to your damn doctor, okay? If he's telling you don't do things, don't do things. Even if you want to. But I got to get to Disneyland this year. I'm sorry, drive then, okay? My God, I'm having a Stella. I just started drinking these. These are freaking delicious. Not a sponsor, but send me $1 million, please, for that. I couldn't believe it when I saw this, but Vinnie the Fingers, there he is. Vinnie Vincent, the Vinnie the Finger Man, the finger banger. Vinnie Vincent announces a listening party for Vinnie Vincent Invasion. That's right, folks. Vinnie Vincent Invasion are going to have a new record, and absolutely nobody is going to be on it but Vinnie, probably. He's calling it Vinnie Vincent Invasion Judgment Day, Guitarmageddon Part 1. So he's gonna go through the whole catalog of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and he's going to do a Guitarmageddon Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. Part 5 will have Jason Statham in it. Former Kiss guitarist Vinnie Vincent has announced a listening party for his Vinnie Vincent Invasion album, Judgment Day, Guitarmageddon Part 1. The event will take place at Starstruck Entertainment Studios in Nashville, Tennessee on May 19th and 20th. It's a 2-day event. Fans who pay $500 will get to hear Judgment Day and take part in a jam with Mr. Vincent. Boy, I'm sorry, dear, you're not getting the braces this year. Daddy's going to go have a rock jam with Vinnie. We've spent the last... Okay, this is Vinnie Vincent, I guess. We've spent the last months perfecting the mixes. It's time to rock, reads a post on Vinnie's website. This will be a birthday bash blast because I like you guys to pay $500 for my birthday parties. You come in and I make you some salads and stuff. Rock and roll party weekend rolled into one. Fan jam is definitely fun stuff. Anyone who wants to participate, drummers, bass players, singers who want to jam on stage with VV, sign up ASAP. Everybody could pick their favorite songs and we'll jam it out live in the studio. I wonder if Mark Slaughter could go down there, pay the $500 and get on stage and do It's That Time. Back in May 2021, Vincent spoke to the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn, who about his plans to finally release some of his previously unheard music that was recorded over the course of the last 3 decades. He said, "This is my crowning moment of joy that I've been waiting for many years, just to be able to say to everybody in truth and reality, but we are finally mixing the 2-inch masters that I finally have control over, my 2-inch tape masters of all my songs, and we're going to be releasing new Vinnie Vincent music on vinyl. You should get a hold of Metallica. They got their own pressing plant now. Within the next 12 to 18 months, it's all finally going to be released. And the art, how amazing would it be if everything he puts out is a Grammy Award-winning piece of music? 30 years he's been sitting on these tapes, or them ding-dongs over in Kiss have had a hold of him. He puts the stuff out, and everyone's crying. And another Grammy goes to, get out of the way, Taylor Swift. Get out of the way. Vinny's coming in. It'd be crazy. And we're going to be releasing new Vinnie Vincent music on vinyl within the next 12 to 18 months. It is all finally going to be released. And the artwork is great. That's why it's going to be Guitar Mageddon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's just going to put out 40 albums of it. We're finished with almost all of the artwork. And yes, the Guitar Mageddon album is in the process of being mixed right now. We just finished mixing the new Euphoria tracks that's no one's ever heard, and it's pretty phenomenal. He continued, I would have to say in all good conscience and honesty that I'm very impressed with what I'm hearing, and I'm blown away. And I'm finally able to say it's a new era of Vinnie Vincent music being released this next 12 to 18 months, and I am so proud to be able to say that. And as a thing starts to open up and there are tours again, you can bet that I'll be out there. This is all very interesting stuff. Euphoria was Vinnie's 1996 EP released on Vincent's own Metaluna label. I've never heard of that. The purpose of the EP was to preview material from an album called Guitar Mageddon, which had never materialized. Vincent, who was a member of Kiss when the band's publicly unmasked in 1983, and I remember watching that on MTV and saying, you know, at the time it was weird because Creatures of the Night had come out and Vinnie was on that, right? It wasn't Ace, but Ace was on the cover. So when they took the makeup off, I always thought there was some kind of weird conspiracy where it was Vinnie Vincent was really Ace. They kind of looked alike. A little bit. They don't to me anymore, but when you're a 12-year-old, they do. 1983, Kiss wrote and released Lick It Up, their first album without makeup, a recording on which Vincent co-wrote 8 of 10 songs, including the title track, which remains a staple of the group's live performance to this day. And if that's it, Vinnie should be he shouldn't be living in a goddamn trailer somewhere. He should be rich. He should be living well. So, if that's not the case, and he has to charge people $500 to come for a birthday visit, they need to pull out some money and pay the damn guy. They got plenty of it. Despite the album's success, Vincent was fired by Kiss after the Lick It Up tour cycle came to an end, allegedly due to a dispute over both the terms of his employment contract with the band and royalties. Right. They wanted to gank him at every which turn. So he came in, and it should be an honor. We're going to put your name on the songs, but it should be an honor that you get to write songs with us, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, and you're just an employee of Kiss and not a member, so you're not getting paid squat. That's what that means. From there, Vincent founded Vinnie Vincent Invasion, which recorded 2 albums, and it was great. In 1992, Vincent re-teamed with Simmons and Stanley to write 3 songs, for their acclaimed album Revenge, including the record's first 2 singles, Unholy and I Just Wanna Forget You. Vinnie wrote those songs. Their relationship quickly soured once again, however. 4 years later, Vincent released a solo EP, the aforementioned Euphoria, which featured vocals from former VVI singer Robert Fleischman, right? And included material from sessions recorded around 1990. Soon after that, Vincent vanished from the public eye and remained off the grid for more than 2 decades. In November 2019, Kiss manager Doc McGee claimed that all former members of the group have been contacted about possibly taking part in the band's last ever tour. That didn't happen, and he's not going to be at the Madison Square shows either. They're not going to have Vinnie there. Prior to the End of the Road launch, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons weren't very enthusiastic about the prospects of an onstage collaboration with Vinnie Vincent. Now, Vinnie, that's one exception, and for so many reasons. Stanley told Guitar World, I would say that's not someone who I want to celebrate. Simmons also chimed in, explaining that it's worth stating that Vinnie has sued the band and lost 14 times. I'm not here to cast any aspersions. I just learned that word, by the way. He's a talented guy. That's why he was in the band. Because he wrote you tunes. That's why. He wrote you a big handful of classics. Lick it up? Come on, my pal. Come on, Gene Simmons, my dude. You know what you're doing there. That guy should have a nice big hunk of change. Now, I don't know what he's done with his money. Maybe that's a problem. I don't know. He's lost 14 times. I'm not here to cast any aspersions. Learn that word. He's a talented guy. That's why we had him in the band. But would I depend on him to get up on stage and do anything? Never. Can he come to the shows? Of course. Anybody can. But on stage? Never. In April 2018, Vincent joined Simmons for his fucking vault. He called old Vinnie Vincent to go over there and do my vault. My big thing that I'm selling for $6,000, and he did it. And if you listen to an interview with Vinnie Vincent and that guy from Canada, what was his name? Chumley McJohnson? What's his name? Rock Talk with Johnny Lamar. Rock Talk with, I can't remember, but if you listen to that interview, he talks about how he sat in his car and he was saying, just go do it, don't do it, don't do it, just go do it. Because he was going to use him. He was going to use him to get people in there and sell a couple of them things. In April 2018, Vincent joined Simmons at the Kiss bassist vocalist Vault event in Nashville, Tennessee. He later said in an interview that he felt that got a cold reception and was treated very indifferently by Gene at the event. Yeah. What was his name? Rock Talk with Tal Hallenberg. Rock Talk with Lamar. It's something French. Rock Talk with Jimmy Lafranche. Something. I don't know. Speaking of old Gene Beans here, remember that video that we were going to do he's selling his house. He sold his house for a Las Vegas house for $11 million. There's this really extremely annoying fella that's doing the ads, because I wanted to do a video on it where we take a walk through, but this guy was talking the whole time. Ow. It's a beautiful house. Where's the guy? Come on with the guy with the talking. Come on. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, you didn't see any of that if they try and cling me on that. Here's some images of it. Beautiful. $11 million home. Kid Rock lives right there, and whoever. Oh, look at that. Beautiful trees they've got in there. This is your yard where you could, young Gene Simmons, what's his name? He could run around in the backyard and stuff. Very beautiful stuff. he sells it. So we congratulate him on that. There's another $11 million in your pocket, my friend. Good job on you. Do you want to watch Joey Fat One? I remember when they used to call him Fat One, but it's Joey Fatone. He was in one of them bands. And they do this serenading thing. This is Steel Panthers, Michael Starr. And it says Michael Starr versus Joey Fatone. And they're going to sing to this buxom gal who's, I don't know what she's thinking about the whole thing, but let's watch a little bit of this and we'll get in your comments. Sound good? Come on. What are they going to sing? They're going to sing one of them dirty songs to her.
Okay, here it goes. Oh, Jessica, thanks for getting me out of jail.
See, he's going, bro. Bro, that was lame, bro.
I hope after the show you're the one I'm gonna nail.
God.
Eyes are blue and I really
She says, my eyes aren't blue, asshole.
love your hands. Maybe after we fuck, you can jack me off in my mom's minivan. Make some noise.
Oh, let's see what Fatone's gonna do. He's gonna go, when I jizz on your face, lady that I don't really know. He's not gonna say anything that obnoxious, is he?
Yeah, that's tough. All right, so give it a go. Joey Fatone, writing on the spot. Oh, Jessica, you make me think. I hope you wash your ass and your pussy don't stink.
Oh.
Just make sure that you got.
He's not actually don't have a bad voice, and his even though his rhymes are vulgar, they're better than Michael Starr's.
A real nice bod. 'Cause I might be fucking you with Michael Starr's car. I try to make.
Oh, I'm giving him the points. I'm giving him the points. He gets them. I'm saying, Joey Fatone, you're the man for Steel Panther. This is a good little.
But you just won't understand.
He's got a country.
I shaved all my pubes off and I'll jerk off in my hand. But Michael Starr, yeah, you ought to know the time.
Oh.
'Cause you should suck my dick, yeah, when I start to rhyme. Start to rhyme. Just rub my.
Oh my God! Look at that. This, you guys are just listening to this. Joey Fatone has asked Mr. Michael Starr if he would perform fellatio on him, and he is down on the ground in front of Joey Fatone, pretending to give oral satisfaction right now. So Joey Fatone wins. Let's get into those comments, shall we? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it till we drop. Ryan Wade coming in here. I love how you start out with a plan for the song you want to open with, and then your fingers go rogue on the keyboard and you are forced to adapt. Yes, that he's inside my mind. My 14-year-old daughter always gives me a chuckle when the lyrics go off the rails. Yeah, he's right inside my brain there because that's exactly what happens. I start off going, what's a terrible 80s pop song that I can destroy, but then my fingers and everything just don't do what I want it to do. Still Ryan here. One of the newest episodes of Beavis and Butthead in which they are now totally unhealthy adults in their 40s. Oh, is that the rub? I kind of like that idea. Features the return of Stuart, the friend, with the winger shirt. I remember Stuart. I won't spoil the episode, but it does involve an exploding kidney and a transplant. Worth watching for fans of idiocy. That's on Paramount Plus, right? That horrible app that doesn't hardly works. I have it, so I think I might get on there. And I watched all that Beavis and Butthead stuff. I mean, I remember seeing Entombed on there and Gwar on there and all sorts of bands and stuff. Still Ryan Wade here. No doubt this 19-year mental case had no clue who he was tackling. Okay, he was definitely jacked up on whiz bangers and out to do damage. Okay, he's talking about Rick Allen, the guy that attacked him. And the guy's got one arm, and he's smoking a cigarette, dude. He's only using the one arm. He has no other arm, so you got to use the one good arm that you got to kill yourself with the cigarettes. But you're right. Still Ryan here. Because Lars says it does not make it. Because Lars says it, it does not make it true. See, he's the guy telling me to slow down and read, and I'm missing his comment. I won't ever listen to that drivel. I love the addition of the Kirk Hammett impression. It's perfect, man. Yeah. Kirk Hammett, he's like a total surfer hippie horror fan. He loves it. He said, man, I've got like 500 guitars, man. Still Ryan here. I'm not buying the reasoning for the delay on Dawkins' new release. Aren't the days of the perfect release date over? You're right. There is no perfect release date. I found a YouTube channel that is basically Cliff Notes for movies, so I got to experience Shark Side of the Moon in a 10-minute synopsis. What? I'd never even heard of that. Now I'm hooked on this channel. Check out the movie Fall, about two girls who climb a 2,000-foot radio tower and get stranded again. No spoiler, but there are buzzards involved, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Negan from The Walking Dead, may or may not be a hero in the end. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I hated him. His dialogue in the first couple of seasons of The Walking Dead, man. Oh, God, it was painful. What do we have here? Oh, God, it was something else. I got to see that now. It's called Fall. Check out a movie called Fall. It's about two girls climb a 2,000-foot radio tower. That's the kind of movie for me. You know, that movie Frozen or whatever, where they just, two people get stranded on a ski lift. And there's like, you know, you can't just go, well, I'll just drop and bust my legs off. No, there's demon wolves down there. There's your heart, my friend. Ryan Weatherman Holt here coming in. And I've already given him the heart. And the reason why I gave him that heart was because as I was, you know, the comments just come through in whatever video, whatever time. And he says, thanks for not laughing at diabetes. I'm type 1. Thanks, Diablo. And you're damn straights about that. I know many people that have diabetes. One of my dearest friends who passed away, not from diabetes, but from other illness. I feel for you. And I'm not going to lie. I could be, you know, I'm trying to exercise and stuff, but I could be whatever they call that, pre-diabetic. I hope not. But yeah. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you all the way. Good friend Michael Espinosa coming in here. He says, can't believe that punk teenager who attacked Rick and that woman got released. What a couple assholes. So wait, was the lady involved in it? Okay, I'm going to give you the heart. I need to know more about that because there was a lady that came out and he dragged her. Was that his girlfriend or something? Were they involved? What's happening? I need to give me more. White bread coming in. Still waiting for James to call me to apologize for the Black Album. My feelings were hurt that night. I listened to it the first time. That is a horrible story about Rick Allen. Glad nobody was seriously hurt. White bread is nailing it right on the head because it was a traumatic experience. The first night listening to the Black Album, we did the whole thing. We went down to the record store at midnight, and at 12:01 they were going to release the album, and we got the cassette home, and it just was not what we were after. You know, we were like so into the thrash and Justice for All and Dark Angel and Death Angel and Forbidden and all of these bands, Death and all of this. And it was just not what I expected at all. And the first time, this is true. Me and my friend sat on the bed with our clothes on, not doing anything but just listening to the record. And when Nothing Else Matters came on, we were in absolute, what the fuck is this? What is this? And then we rewound the part when he went, couldn't be much more from the heart. He did that whole little yodel thing. We laughed so hard and rewound it over and over and over and over again. Now, that album grew on me after a while. It broadened their base. Everyone fell in love with Metallica. There's your heart, my friend. Did he just change his emoticon? Did you see that change just like I did? I saw his face there, and then there's a blue spot. White Bread, get in there and tell me if you actually changed your picture, your little avatar thing, during the podcast. Our pal Steve Bernard coming in. I still got the stuffy nose and the cough and everything. It's been 5 days. Don't forget, at the time, Lars had a white leather jacket, which was simply awful. Worse than anything Winger were wearing. I do remember that jacket. When he's going on about making fun of Kip Winger, and, we just threw darts at the board at the people that we were, the easy targets or easy, whatever. He looked just like Kip Winger. Just like him. All right? So there's that. Well, good job. There's your heart. Miss Althea, the fantastic Miss Althea coming in here. The Dumbstruck Fool says, theme song was epic. Enter Jive Man Baby. Yeah. I'm kind of like an idiot savant where as soon as I perform my masterpiece on the keyboard, I instantly forget it. She says, Kip Winger, Metallica, Lou Reed. I guess a delayed apology is better than nothing, or should I say, better than Nothing Else Matters. Oh, that was weak. Moving forward, whenever there is a Metallica story that gives you cause to read quotes from Lars Ulrich, I think those moments should now officially be referred to as Carl Ulrich. There is such a fine line from Caddyshack, that has been tread and become a theme with such things. We know. Yeah. It just comes to me. I can't even, it's like anytime I try to do Christopher Walken, you can't do it until you're not thinking about doing it. Rick Allen here. Miss Althea on Rick Allen. I actually saw the story a couple of hours before I watched this episode. The piece I read named the perp and stated he was a varsity football and lacrosse athlete. Well, not anymore, he's not. I also question the reason for the kid still being in high school at age 19. Yeah. I'm guessing due to assorted behavioral issues that has spanned through his life, and probably why he sucker punched people for no justifiable reason whatsoever, regardless of whether or not he is hopped up on something. Amen. Miss Althea on Dawkin. If I really did have anything to say about this, I couldn't, because I am still in pain over Dawkin on the Vakken. Oh man, that was almost obscene. You gotta get Dawkin on the Vakken, man. Especially if you're the dang manager for him or whatever he is. Miss Althea on Ozzy here. For the love of God and health issues notwithstanding, at this rate, he should just tour with Kiss and Motley Crue and call it The Unretired. The whole thing is a South Park episode waiting to happen. I agree. I am also down for Ryan's 6 Degrees or Less. That is part of the game. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon or Justin Bateman or whatever it's going to be. You're even more kick-ass if you can get it in less than 6. Ryan's 6 Degrees or Less of Jason Bateman game. I am racking my brain trying to find a connection between him and Hide of X Japan. And don't let anyone say that is outside the bounds of Hollywood just because Hide was Japanese. I agree. There's nobody left off the table in the game of 6 Degrees of Jason Bateman. He's worked with enough, he's directed and been on enough shows and, like directed different things that I think that it's pretty broad. He lived in West Hollywood district of Los Angeles, just a few blocks from Melrose Avenue and Santa Monica Boulevard, at least 6 months out of the year from 1995 or 96 up until his passing in 1998. Let me work on this, and hopefully I will have an answer by the next episode. Yeah! Still miss out there. Yeah, get back and see if you can link them. Rosie Perez is who you were thinking of. She was that kind of, what you talking about? White man can't jump. And I think she was maybe 2 years old at the time Skyjacked came out. Rosie Greer was a noted NFL player. Okay, so Rosie Perez, and she was talking about Rosie Greer, was a noted NFL player who turned to acting after he retired. Okay, I'm learning all sorts of things here. Retired from football. Rosie Greer. All right. Okay, I'm not gonna disagree with that. Jolly Jake Lavelle coming in. Cool of James to follow through on his path to recovery and make amends. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think when he got a hold of Kip Winger, it's because he was like, hey, man, we do a lot of jerky things. I mean, let's be honest, though. It's pretty petty, right? A freaking music video. But then again, it's like, okay, it's only the biggest heavy metal band in the world with the biggest ballad of all time. And they're throwing darts at Kip Winger. So I could see the offense there. But, at least he's saying, hey, that probably wasn't very good of me to do. All right? So there's your heart there. And look at this. Old Mike Buchanan coming in the end there. See, we started doing him wherever he popped up because we wanted to make sure that that I didn't forget. Because I was forgetting for something. So let's get into this. He's got some stuff here. Let's all start a new segment. Bad movie we've watched but love them anyways. I just saw Shark Side of the Moon. That's the movie that was just briefly touched upon. Russia genetically engineer killer sharks that can breathe air and walk on 2 legs. Well, there you go. They lose control of them and blast them off into space to the moon. Flash forward several decades, and a crew going to the moon encounters these sharks of the dark side of the moon. If you are a lover of terrible B-horror sci-fi, and I am, movies like I am. Well, see, I was saying I am, but he says that here. If you are a lover of terrible B-movie, horror, and sci-fi movies like I am, you have to watch this movie. And yes, Miss Althea, I love 70s disaster movies, as well as 50s and 60s B-horror sci-fi movies. A lot of metalheads and hard rockers and metal rockers like horror movies. It's kind of peanut butter and jelly, isn't it? Well, actually, if it's a bad with terrible acting, bad scripting, I got something for you right here, you guys. You got to love it. Bad scripting, writing, and funny and horrible special effects, I am all over it. I'm going to tell you your next favorite series to watch. And I found it a week ago. I've been watching it religiously. There's 4 seasons of it, and it's absolutely spectacular. The stories are terrible. The dialogue and acting is terrible. Everything about it but it's called Beyond Belief. That's right, the show with Jonathan Frakes. He was #1 on Next Generation. He hosts it. It was a show in the 90s. And the idea behind Beyond Belief is they tell you 4 or 5 stories, and they let you know at the end if it was made up or if it actually really happened. Although all of these stories I don't think really happened because he's very tight-lipped with the knowledge, He'll say, from our studies, this happened in Tabasco, Texas in 1995. That's as far as he goes with Here's the proof this really happened. But I'm telling you, you are going to have the best time. I laughed my ass off. It is so terrible. And there's 4 seasons of it. Shane, I'm dying, man. Rosie Greer, first off, is a dude. And I just learned this. And he played football for the Giants and Rams. But I love your guess better as to who he was. Well, we know now. I was thinking Rosie Perez. Still Mike Buchanan here. Sorry, I'm just getting tired of hearing about whose feelings got hurt. It's like a soap opera. And if you remember, I have PTSD over a certain soap opera. It shall not be named. And I had to go back and watch Nothing Else Matters video to see who he was talking about. I have no memories of this. I'm still dumbfounded over Rick's ability to play the drums. I've seen him twice in concert over the years after the accident, and was amazed. I mean, yeah. No matter how you slice that up and dice that, even if he's using both of his legs to do hi-hat or do snare or do whatever, or drum rolls or whatever, I mean, he literally took himself and created something so he could continue playing drums. That's a drummer to me. That is someone who is committed to drumming. And how about that one drummer guy that lost his leg in the van clip? What was that? They're kind of a metalcore band. He's back at it, and he's got the fake leg on there. Still Mike Buchanan. Why do we have to keep digging up Lulu? Just for kicks, I went and listened to it. I mean, the first line of the song starts off with I would when I'm in my 70s. What? I missed a line, guys. I mean, the first line of the song starts off with cut my legs and tits off. Jesus! I just got a little taste of that Papa Roach song. Cut my legs and my tits off. This is my last resort. But even with the lyrical genius, I can't listen to it. And sorry, Lars, it hasn't aged well. I checked back in on it. I would say I will check back in on it when I'm in my 70s. Maybe then it will have aged well. Do you guys get really irritated when I goof your comments and you're reading right along and you're like, yeah, he's almost there to the period. He's almost to the end. I would say Don, with the help of vocal coach, would do well. Okay, Don Dokken with a vocal coach would do well, but he needs help getting his singing voice back. And one would have to think that if the record company is waiting to release the album, it might be due to, do we really have to put out this crap? As a Dokken fan from the first album, I feel like I should have been a bigger Dokken fan, because the more Dokken I hear nowadays, I love. And I go, God, that was a good tune. But I wasn't really into him at the time. The first album, the band hasn't released a good album since Back for the Attack. That's the last one that I remember or know of, is Back for the Attack. Might have something to do with George no longer being in the band, but if George is writing material for a new album and is playing on it, I'll give it a listen with hesitant anticipation of it being good. You guys putting these big words in here. You know I'm feeble. But I'm getting it. I'm learning the words. I think you're doing it. So we need to teach him. We can't just give him all these easy words all the time. Who wants to see Ozzy, Kiss, and Motley Crue on the Wheelchair Tour? Raise your hand slowly. And the good news is Motley Crue's going until 2031. So they'll all be in wheelchairs. You know. The only day, Paul Stanley's going to draw the line in the sand is when someone's going, all right, well, since you're on your way out, we're going to go ahead and put a star on someone else's face. I don't think so, buddy. No one's going to be the star child but me. And now, your Jive Talkin jokes of the week. I'm always frank with my sexual partners. I don't want them to know my real name. Oh. Oh, Frank. Oh, Frank, you're so good. Oh, Frank. Last night I went out drinking for St. Patrick's Day with a bunch of friends. I got so wasted I had to take the bus home. That's really wasted. That might not sound like a big deal to you, but I've never driven a bus before. Oh! You should have seen the look on my friends' faces. Someone just threw sodium chloride at me. That's assault! Jesus, Mike. I just found out that there's an actual clinic name for what you call it when you can't sleep at night. A clinical name? What I call it, a colonic? I just found out there's an actual clinical name for what you call it when you can't sleep at night and you just eat instead. It's called insomnia nom 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 nomia. How does a rabbi make his coffee? He brews it. That's a good one. I like that. Runny nose coming in 3, 2, 1. Starting Monday, we start Diarrhea Awareness Week. It runs until Friday. There you have that, you fine and fantastic freakoids. Get out there, seize the day, take the world by the horns. If you're saying, well, I know I should eat a little healthier or maybe quit smoking the pack a day or vaping and all that, just do it. How about you try an afternoon where you don't do any terrible things, including myself. I'll try that too. Once again, I love y'all, appreciate you all, thank you all. We're going to fly by the seat of the pants. I'm feeling... Oh! And that always seems to be the tone. Let's get space-aged. Motherfucker. Guess who's back in the motherfucking house with the Jive Talkin for your motherfucking mouth, your motherfucking ears, your motherfucking face. Come on now, let's rock this place. Motherfucker Jive. Jive, motherfucker, jive. You can jive to the house, jive to the day, jive to your mamas, jive away. Let's jive.